What if I told you that a simple cup of coffee, something you probably grab every morning, could change someone's life forever? Picture this, a guy, just an ordinary dude, pulling up to a coffee shop drive-thru every single day, ordering the same black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Nothing special, right? But here's the twist. He never expected that the girl handing him that coffee through the window would turn his world upside down. Sounds like the start of a rom-com, doesn't it? But there's a mystery here, something deeper, something that'll keep you glued to this video until the very last second. Why did he keep coming back? Was it really just about the coffee? Or was there something about her? Something he couldn't shake? Stick with me, because by the end of this, you're gonna know exactly what happened, and trust me, it's a story you won't forget. Let's dive into this tale of coffee, connection, and a love that nobody saw coming. You're probably wondering why this story feels so relatable already. It's because we've all been there. Those little routines in life, like grabbing your morning coffee, that seem so small but can lead to something huge. Maybe you've got a spot you hit up every day, a barista who knows your order by heart, or a moment in your routine that feels like it's just yours. That's what this story is about. Those tiny moments that sneak up on you and change everything. I'm talking to you directly because I know you get it. You've felt that spark, that curiosity, that what if that makes you want to keep watching. And I'm promising you right now, if you stay with me, you're gonna get answers. Not just about what happened between this guy and the girl at the window, but about how something as simple as a daily coffee run can turn into a love story that's trending all over YouTube. So grab your own coffee, or maybe a snack, and let's get into it. This is for you, the viewer who loves a good romance, a bit of mystery, and a story that feels like it could happen to anyone, even you. Let's set the scene. It's a small town in the Midwest, the kind of place where everyone knows each other's business, but somehow, secrets still manage to hide in plain sight. The coffee shop is called Brewed Awakening. Cute, right? And it's the heart of this town. People don't just come here for caffeine. They come for the vibe, the chatter, the feeling of being part of something. Our guy, let's call him Jake, is in his late 20s, the kind of guy you'd pass on the street without a second glance. He's not flashy, not some TikTok star with 1 million followers, just a regular dude with a job at a hardware store, a beat-up pickup truck, and a habit of keeping to himself. Every morning, like clockwork, Jake pulls into the drive-thru at Brewed Awakening, orders his black coffee, and drives off. No small talk, no fuss. But here's where it gets interesting. The girl at the window, Mia, is the opposite of Jake in every way. She's got this energy, this warmth, like she's the kind of person who could make anyone feel seen. Her smile is the kind that sticks with you, and her laugh? It's the soundtrack of that coffee shop. Jake notices her, how could he not? But he's not the type to make a move. Or so he thinks. You're probably wondering, okay, so what's the big deal? Guy likes girl, classic story. But hold on, because there's something about Mia, something Jake doesn't know yet, that's gonna make this a lot more than just a cute meet cute. And I'm not gonna spoil it here. You've gotta keep watching to find out what it is. Now, let's talk about why this story is hitting you right in the feels. You're watching this because you love stories about real people, about love that grows in unexpected places, about those moments that make you believe in something bigger. Maybe you're a hopeless romantic, or maybe you're just curious about what could possibly make a guy keep coming back to a drive-thru every single day. Either way, I see you, and I'm telling you, this story is for you. It's not just about Jake and Mia. It's about the way life surprises us, the way a glance or a word or a cup of coffee can spark something you never saw coming. You're gonna feel like you're right there with Jake, pulling up to that window, wondering what Mia's thinking, what she's hiding, and whether this is gonna be the day he finally says something more than thanks. And I'm not just throwing around buzzwords like love story or mystery to keep you hooked, though, let's be real, those are trending on YouTube for a reason. This is about connection, about the human need to feel something, and I know you're feeling it already. So, don't click away. Don't let that algorithm tempt you with another video. Stay with me, because I'm gonna give you the full story, and it's gonna be worth every second. Let's dig a little deeper into Jake. He's not your typical leading man, and that's what makes him so real. He's got this quiet intensity, like he's carrying something heavy but doesn't talk about it. Maybe it's a past he doesn't share. Maybe it's just the weight of a life that hasn't gone exactly as planned. He's not unhappy, but he's not exactly living his best life either. Brewed Awakening is his one constant, his one moment of peace in a day that's otherwise just fine. And Mia? She's the wild card. She's in her early 20s, working at the coffee shop to save up for something. She won't say what, not yet. She's got this knack for remembering everyone's order, for making people feel like they matter, but there's a hint of something guarded in her eyes. Like she's got her own story, her own reasons for being at that window every day. Jake notices it, even if he doesn't admit it to himself. Every morning, when she hands him his coffee, there's this split second where their eyes meet, and it's like the world pauses. You know that feeling, right? When time slows down, and you're not sure if it's just you or if the other person felt it too. That's what's happening here, and it's what keeps Jake coming back, even if he doesn't fully understand why. You're probably thinking, okay, so when's the romance gonna kick in? Patience, my friend. This isn't just about love, it's about what love can uncover, what it can heal, and what it can break. And trust me, there's a twist coming that's gonna make you see everything differently. Here's where I'm gonna pull you in even closer. You're not just watching this video. You're part of this story. You're the one rooting for Jake, wondering if he's gonna find the courage to say more than, "Black coffee, please." You're the one curious about Mia, about what's behind that smile, about why she's so good at making everyone feel special but seems to keep her own heart locked away. You're the one who's gonna feel every high and low of this journey, because I'm telling this story for you. I know you've got questions. Why does Jake keep coming back? What's Mia's deal? Is this gonna be a fairy tale, or is there something darker waiting to be revealed? I'm promising you answers, but you've gotta trust me and stick around. This isn't one of those videos that drags on with no payoff. Every moment, every detail, is building towards something that's gonna hit you right in the heart. And let's be real. You didn't click on this video by accident. You saw the title, "He Ordered Coffee Every Day," never expecting to fall for the girl at the window, and something about it pulled you in. Maybe it's the idea of a love story born from something as simple as a coffee run. Maybe it's the mystery of what's really going on. Whatever it is, you're here. And I'm not gonna let you down. This is the kind of story that's trending for a reason. It's real, it's raw, and it's gonna make you feel something. Let's talk about the atmosphere for a second, because it's a big part of why this story works. Imagine the hum of the coffee shop, the smell of roasted beans, the sound of cars idling in the drive-thru. It's early morning, the sun's just starting to peek over the horizon, and there's this quiet magic in the air, like anything could happen. Jake's truck radio is playing some old country song, low and steady, and when he pulls up to the window, Mia's there, her apron slightly crooked, her hair tied back in a messy bun. It's not glamorous, but it's real. That's what makes this story feel like it could be yours. It's not about millionaires or movie stars. It's about two people whose lives intersect in the most ordinary way possible, but who end up meaning everything to each other. The tone here is warm but layered. There's romance, sure, but there's also tension, a sense that something's not quite right. You can feel it in the way Jake hesitates before driving away, in the way Mia's smile doesn't always reach her eyes. You're probably starting to sense it too, right? That this isn't just a fluffy love story. There's a conflict brewing, a secret that's gonna shake things up, and I know you're dying to find out what it is. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you hanging forever, but you've gotta keep watching to get there. Now let's touch on the themes, because this story is about more than just a guy and a girl. It's about routine and how it can anchor us or trap us. It's about connection, about how the smallest interactions can build into something life-changing. It's about courage, finding the guts to step out of your comfort zone, to say the thing you've been holding back. And yeah, it's about love, but not the Hollywood kind. This is the kind of love that's messy, uncertain, and built on moments that don't seem like much until you look back and realize they were everything. You're probably thinking about your own life right now, about the people you see every day, the ones who make you smile or make you wonder. That's why this story is hitting you so hard. It's universal. It's why videos like this are blowing up on YouTube, because we're all searching for meaning in the everyday. And I'm telling you, Jake and Mia's story is gonna give you that meaning, but it's also gonna surprise you. There's a reason I'm not telling you everything up front, because the journey is just as important as the destination, and I want you to feel every step of it. Alright, we're getting close to the end of this intro, but I'm not letting you go without leaving you on the edge of your seat. Picture Jake, day after day, pulling up to that drive-thru, his heart beating just a little faster every time Mia's face appears at the window. He's starting to notice things about her. The way she hums to herself when she thinks no one's listening, the way her hands move so fast but so gracefully when she's making change. He's starting to wonder if she notices him too, If she remembers his order because it's her job or because there's something more. And Mia? She's got her own thoughts, her own reasons for being at that window, but she's not letting anyone in, not yet. One morning, something changes. Jake pulls up, orders his coffee, and Mia hands it to him like always. But this time, there's a note tucked under the lid. Just a small piece of paper, folded once, with a single word written on it. What does it say? Who wrote it? And what does it mean for Jake and Mia? You're dying to know, aren't you? Good. Because that's exactly where we're headed next, and I promise, the answer is gonna blow your mind. Keep watching, my friend. This is just the beginning. So there's Jake, sitting in his truck, staring at that tiny piece of paper he just found tucked under the lid of his coffee cup. His heart's pounding, and not just because of the caffeine. The word scrawled on it, stay, feels like it's burning a hole through his thoughts. Who wrote it? Was it Mia? And if it was, what's she trying to say? He's tempted to pull back around to the drive-thru and ask her right then and there, but something stops him. Maybe it's the fear of looking like a fool, or maybe it's the nagging feeling that there's more to this than a simple note. You're probably feeling that same itch, right? That need to know what's going on, to peel back the layers of this small-town mystery that's starting to feel like it's straight out of a trending YouTube storytime video. Jake tucks the note into his pocket, takes a sip of his coffee, and drives off, but you can bet he's not gonna forget about it. This is where things start to get real, where the everyday routine of a coffee run turns into something deeper, something that's gonna pull you in and keep you hooked. Let's dive into Jake's world, Mia's secrets, and the little town that's hiding more than you'd expect. Stick with me, because this story's about to take you somewhere you didn't see coming. Let's step back and get to know Jake a little better, because he's not just some guy with a coffee obsession. He grew up in this town, the kind of place where high school football games are the biggest event of the year and everybody's got a story about the time they almost left but didn't. Jake's one of those almosts. Back in his early 20s, he had big plans. Move to a city, chase a career in graphic design, live a life that felt like it mattered. But life has a way of derailing dreams, doesn't it? His dad got sick, and Jake stayed to help out, working at the hardware store to keep things afloat. Now at 28, he's still here, living in a rented duplex, driving the same truck he's had since he was 17, and wondering if this is all there is. Brood awakening is his one escape, his one moment of calm in a life that feels like it's stuck on repeat equals repeat. That's why Mia matters so much, even if he hasn't admitted it to himself yet. She's not just a barista. She's a reminder that there's still something alive in him, something that wants more. You're probably relating to Jake right now, aren't you? That feeling of being caught between what you are and what you could be. It's why this story's hitting you so hard. It's real, it's raw, and it's got that viral YouTube vibe that makes you want to keep watching to see if Jake's gonna find his way. Now, let's talk about Mia, because she's not just the girl at the window. She's 23, sharp as a tack, and working at Brood Awakening for reasons nobody in town can quite figure out. She showed up about a year ago, renting a tiny apartment above the town's only bookstore, and she's been a fixture at the coffee shop ever since. She's got this way of making everyone feel like they're her best friend. She remembers names, orders, even the little details, like how Mrs. Thompson likes her latte extra foamy or how Mr. Jenkins always wants a straw. But there's a wall there, subtle but real. Nobody knows much about her past, and when people ask, she deflects with a laugh or a quick change of subject. Some folks in town whisper that she's running from something. An ex, a bad decision, maybe even the law. Others think she's just saving up for college or a big move. Jake's noticed the rumors, but he doesn't buy them. He sees something else in her, something that feels familiar, like she's carrying a weight she doesn't show. That note, stay, is the first hint that she might see something in him too, but it's also a puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit. Why would she write it? And why now? You're probably dying to know, just like Jake is, and I'm telling you the answers are coming, but not yet. This is a slow burn love story with a side of mystery, and it's gonna keep you guessing. Here's where things get juicy, because this isn't just about Jake and Mia. There's a subplot brewing at Brood Awakening, and it's adding layers to this story that you didn't see coming. The coffee shop's owner, a gruff but lovable guy named Tom, is in over his head. Business isn't what it used to be. Big chains are moving into the next town over, and locals are starting to skip the drive-thru for cheaper options. Tom's been talking about selling, but he hasn't told his staff yet, not even Mia, who's practically keeping the place afloat with her charm. Jake's overheard bits and pieces while waiting for his coffee, And he's starting to wonder if Mia's note has something to do with the shop's future. Could she be trying to keep him around to help save it? Or is it personal, something just between them? Then there's Sarah, another barista who works the evening shift. She's Mia's best friend at the shop, but she's got her own drama. Rumors are swirling that she's been sneaking cash from the register, and Mia's caught in the middle, trying to protect her friend while keeping Tom in the dark. You're probably thinking this sounds like a soap opera, but that's what makes it so addictive, right? It's the kind of small-town gossip that's trending on YouTube because it feels like it could happen right down the street from you. Let's add another layer, because this town's got secrets that go beyond the coffee shop. Jake's got a buddy, Ethan, who's been his best friend since they were kids. Ethan's the opposite of Jake. Loud, cocky, always chasing the next big thing. He's been pushing Jake to move on from this small-town rut, maybe even join him on a road trip to California, where Ethan's got a lead on some vague business deal. Jake's tempted, but every time he thinks about leaving, he pictures Mia's face at the drive-thru window, and now that note's got him second-guessing everything. Ethan's noticed Jake's distraction, and he's not subtle about it. He's been teasing Jake about his coffee crush, but there's a hint of jealousy there, like he's worried he's losing his wingman. Ethan's got his own stuff going on too. He's been cagey about where he's getting the money for all his big plans, and Jake's starting to suspect it's not entirely legit. You're probably sensing the tension building, aren't you? It's not just about whether Jake and Mia will get together. It's about whether Jake's gonna stay in this town, whether the coffee shop will survive, and what Ethan's hiding. It's the kind of drama that keeps you clicking next video on YouTube, because you need to know how it all connects. Back to that note, because it's the thread tying this all together. Jake's obsessed with it, turning it over in his mind every night when he's lying in bed, the hum of his old air conditioner drowning out the silence. He's starting to notice things he didn't before, like how Mia's been asking him questions lately, small stuff, like what he does after work or if he's ever thought about leaving town. It's casual, but it's deliberate, and it's got him wondering if she's fishing for something. He's also noticed that she's been quieter lately, like something's weighing on her. One morning, he catches her staring out the drive-thru window, lost in thought, and when she sees him, she fumbles his coffee, spilling a little on her hand. She laughs it off, but Jake sees the flicker of something. Worry, maybe, or fear. He doesn't ask about it, not yet, but he's starting to piece things together. The note, her questions, the way she's been acting. It's all adding up to something, but he's not sure what. You're feeling that suspense too, right? That need to know what's driving Mia, what's making her reach out to Jake in this quiet, cryptic way. It's the kind of mystery that's got YouTube comments blowing up with theories, and I know you've got your own guesses already. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about the town itself, because it's practically a character in this story. It's the kind of place where secrets don't stay buried long, but they don't come out clean, either. There's a history here, whispered stories about things that happened years ago, a scandal at the coffee shop's old location, a disappearance that nobody talks about directly, a fire that some say wasn't an accident. Jake's heard the rumors his whole life, but he's never paid them much mind. Now though, he's starting to wonder if there's a connection to Mia, to the note, to the way people in town watch her like they're waiting for something to happen. Maybe it's nothing, just small-town paranoia, but Jake's not so sure anymore. He's starting to ask questions, quietly, to Ethan, to his co-workers at the hardware store, even to his mom, who's lived here her whole life. Nobody's saying much, but their silences are loud, and it's got Jake, and you, wondering what's really going on behind the scenes. This is the kind of plot twist setup that makes a YouTube story go viral, because it's not just about two people. It's about a place, a past, and a truth that's waiting to come out. So where does this leave us? Jake's still showing up at Brood Awakening every morning, but now he's looking for more than coffee. He's watching Mia, trying to read her, trying to decide if he's brave enough to ask about the note. Mia's still smiling, still handing him his cup, but there's a tension there, like she's waiting for him to make a move. The coffee shop's future is shaky, Sarah's drama is simmering, Ethan's pushing Jake to leave, and the town's whispers are getting harder to ignore. And that note, stay, is still in Jake's pocket, a reminder that something's coming, something big. One morning, as Jake pulls up to the drive-thru, Mia leans out the window, her eyes locking onto his. She doesn't say anything at first, just hands him his coffee, but her fingers brush his, and it's no accident. Then, just as he's about to drive away, she says, "You read it, didn't you?" Her voice is soft, almost a whisper, and before Jake can answer, she's gone, called back to the counter by another customer. Jake's left gripping the steering wheel, his mind racing. What does she want him to do? What's she hiding? And why does it feel like everything's about to change? You're on the edge of your seat, aren't you? Good. Because this story's nowhere near done, and the next part's gonna hit you even harder. Keep watching, this is just getting started. Jake's truck is idling in the Brood Awakening drive-thru. His fingers still tingling from where Mia's hand brushed her words. You read it, didn't you? Echoing in his head like a song he can't shake. He wants to say something, to ask what she meant, but she's already back at the counter, her ponytail swinging as she moves, leaving him with nothing but questions and a steaming cup of coffee. He drives off, his mind a mess, replaying that moment, the note in his pocket feeling heavier than ever. You're probably right there with him, aren't you? Heart racing, wondering what Mia's playing at. Why she's pulling Jake into something he doesn't understand yet. This isn't just a love story anymore. It's a mystery wrapped in a small-town drama, the kind of tale that's blowing up on YouTube because it hooks you and doesn't let go. The stakes are about to get higher, and just when you think you've got a handle on where this is going, there's a twist that's gonna flip everything upside down. Stick with me, because this coffee shop romance is turning into something nobody, not even Jake, could have seen coming, and you're gonna want to see what happens next. Let's dive into Jake's head for a moment, because he's spiraling. That note, stay, and Mia's cryptic question have him questioning everything. He's not the type to overthink, but now he's noticing details he never did before. The way Mia's eyes flicker when she hands him his coffee, like she's searching for something in his face. The way she lingers at the window just a second longer than she needs to. He's starting to wonder if she's been watching him as closely as he's been watching her. But it's more than that. There's a tension in the air at Brood Awakening, like the whole place is holding its breath. Tom, the owner, has been snapping at everyone. His usual gruff charm replaced by a stress that's impossible to miss. Jake overhears him on the phone one morning, talking about final offers and closing up shop, and it hits Jake like a punch. If the coffee shop shuts down, what happens to Mia? What happens to this thing between them, whatever it is? You're probably feeling that same urgency, that need to know if Jake's gonna lose his one shot at something real before he even figures out what it is. This is the kind of drama that keeps YouTube viewers glued to their screens, because it's not just about love, it's about fighting for something before it slips away. Meanwhile, the subplot with Sarah, Mia's coworker, is heating up, and it's adding a whole new layer of intrigue. Sarah's been acting strange, showing up late, avoiding Tom's questions, and giving Mia these long, meaningful looks that Jake can't quite read. He's heard the rumors about her stealing from the register, but Mia's been fiercely defensive, shutting down anyone who brings it up. One day, Jake pulls into the drive-thru and catches a glimpse of Sarah through the window, stuffing something into her apron pocket. It's quick, almost too quick to be sure, but it's enough to make Jake wonder if the gossip is true. Later, when Mia hands him his coffee, she's quieter than usual, her smile forced. Jake wants to ask about Sarah, about the note, about everything, but the words stick in his throat. He's starting to realize that Mia's caught in something bigger than just a coffee shop job, and that note might be her way of reaching out for help, or pulling him into her mess. You're probably piecing it together too, wondering if Sarah's trouble is tied to Mia's secrets, if the coffee shop's problems are more than just bad business. It's the kind of twisty subplot that makes a YouTube story go viral, because every detail feels like a clue, and you're itching to know how it all fits. Now, let's bring Ethan back into the mix, because Jake's best friend is stirring up trouble of his own. Ethan's been pushing harder for Jake to ditch town, talking up this California deal like it's the answer to everything. But Jake's not stupid. He's noticed Ethan's new watch, the way he's always got cash to burn, the way he gets cagey when Jake asks where it's coming from. One night, they're at the local dive bar, and Ethan lets slip that he's been working with some people who don't exactly play by the rules. Jake presses him, but Ethan laughs it off, saying Jake's too small town to get it. The conversation leaves Jake uneasy, especially when Ethan starts asking about Brood Awakening, about Tom's financial troubles, about Mia. It's casual, but it's not, and Jake's starting to wonder if Ethan's mixed up in something that could touch the coffee shop, or Mia. You're probably sensing the same red flags, right? That feeling that Ethan's not just a restless friend but a wild card who could blow this whole story wide open. It's the kind of drama that's trending on YouTube, because it's not just about romance anymore. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and the choices that change everything. Here's where things take a sharp turn, and I'm warning you, this twist is gonna hit you out of nowhere. The next morning, Jake pulls into the drive-thru, expecting Mia's usual smile, but she's not there. Instead, it's Sarah at the window, her face pale, her hands shaking as she hands him his coffee. Jake asks where Mia is, and Sarah hesitates, then says, "She didn't show up today. Nobody knows where she is." Jake's stomach drops. Mia's never missed a shift. Not once in the year she's been at Brood Awakening. He tries to play it cool, but his mind's racing. Mia's gone, and that note, her question, the way she's been acting, it's all screaming that something's wrong. He drives to work, but he can't focus, and by noon, he's back at the coffee shop, asking Tom if he's heard anything. Tom's distracted, muttering about bills and buyers, but he lets slip that Mia called him last night, sounding upset, saying something about needing to fix things before hanging up. Jake's gut tells him this isn't just a no-show, it's connected to the note, to Sarah, maybe even to Ethan's shady deals. You're probably freaking out right now, aren't you? Wondering where Mia is, what she's running from, and if Jake's gonna find her before it's too late. This is the kind of cliffhanger that makes YouTube comments explode, because it's unexpected, it's intense, and it's got you hooked. Let's lean into the town's role in all this, because it's more than just a backdrop. The whispers Jake's been hearing, about scandals, disappearances, fires, are starting to feel less like rumors and more like warnings. He remembers his mom mentioning something years ago, about a girl who worked at the coffee shop's old location and vanished without a trace. Nobody ever found out what happened, but the story stuck with Jake, and now with Mia gone, it's clawing its way back into his thoughts. He starts asking around, casually at first, but the more he digs, the more people clam up. His co-worker at the hardware store, an old-timer named Ray, gives him a strange look when he brings up Mia, muttering something about history repeating itself, before changing the subject. Even Ethan seems off when Jake mentions Mia's absence, brushing it off with a forced laugh that doesn't reach his eyes. Jake's starting to feel like the whole town's in on something, and he's the only one left in the dark. You're probably feeling that same unease, that sense that the puzzle pieces are there but not quite fitting yet. It's the kind of suspense that keeps YouTube viewers hitting replay, because every question leads to another, and you can't look away. The stakes are higher now, and Jake's not just chasing a crush anymore. He's chasing answers. He's back at Brood Awakening the next day, hoping Mia's miraculously returned, but it's still Sarah at the window, looking worse than before. Jake can't help himself. He asks about the note, if Mia ever mentioned anything about him. Sarah's eyes widen, and for a second, he thinks she's gonna spill, but then she shuts down, saying she doesn't know anything. Jake's not buying it, but before he can push, Tom storms out, yelling about a missing deposit bag. Hundreds of dollars gone from the safe. The accusation hangs in the air, and Sarah flinches, her guilt written all over her face. Jake's mind is spinning. Is Sarah's theft tied to Mia's disappearance? Did Mia find out and confront her? Or is it something bigger, something involving Ethan or the town's murky past? He's about to leave when he notices something on the counter. A second note, folded just like the first, with his name on it. His heart stops. He grabs it, slips it into his pocket, and heads to his truck, not daring to open it until he's alone. What's it gonna say? Is it from Mia, or someone else entirely? And what does it mean for Jake, for the coffee shop, for everything he thought he knew? You're dying to know, aren't you? Don't click away. This story's about to take you deeper, and the next part's gonna change everything. Keep watching, because the truth is closer than you think. Jake's hands tremble as he sits in his truck, parked just outside Brood Awakening, the second note clutched tightly in his fist. The coffee shop's neon sign flickers in the dusk, casting a soft glow over the lot, but inside, the tension is thick. Tom's still fuming about the missing deposit bag, Sarah's on the verge of tears, and Mia's absence hangs over everything like a storm cloud. Jake's heart is pounding, not just from the mystery of the note but from the sinking feeling that he's running out of time to find Mia, to understand what she's been trying to tell him. You're right there with him, aren't you? Gripped by the suspense, desperate to know what's in that note, what happened to Mia, and how this small-town coffee shop drama is going to unravel. This is the moment you've been waiting for. The climax of a love story turned mystery that's had you hooked from the first second. The kind of viral YouTube tale that's trending because it's got heart, twists, and a payoff you won't see coming. Let's dive into the final chapter, where secrets come to light, conflicts collide, and one last shock leaves you speechless. Stick with me, because this ending is going to hit you right in the feels and leave you thinking about Jake and Mia long after the video ends. Jake takes a deep breath and unfolds the note, his eyes scanning the familiar handwriting. It's Mia's, no question, but the words stop him cold. Meet me at the old mill. Midnight. Please. The old mill, a crumbling relic on the edge of town, abandoned since the 90s, the kind of place kids dare each other to sneak into on Halloween. Why would Mia be there? And why midnight? Jake's mind races, piecing together the clues. The first note, stay. Her cryptic question, her sudden disappearance, the town's whispers about a past nobody talks about. He checks his watch. It's just past 7. He's got hours to kill, but sitting still isn't an option. He heads to the hardware store, where his co-worker Ray is closing up, and asks about the mill, about the old stories. Ray's face tightens, but he finally spills. A girl named Lily worked at the coffee shop's old location 20 years ago, vanished without a trace, and some say she was hiding from trouble at the mill. The story's vague, but it's enough to make Jake's skin crawl. Is Mia caught in something similar? He tries calling her, but her phone's off, and when he swings by her apartment, the lights are dark. You're probably feeling that same dread, that urge to yell at Jake to do something, anything, to find her before it's too late. This is the kind of high-stakes drama that makes YouTube story times blow up, because every second feels like it's leading to something massive. Before heading to the mill, Jake stops by Brood Awakening one last time, hoping for answers. The shop's quiet, but Sarah's still there, wiping down counters with a nervous energy. Jake confronts her about the missing deposit bag, about Mia, about everything. Sarah breaks, tears streaming as she admits she's been skimming cash. Not much, just enough to help her sick mom with medical bills. Mia found out, but instead of turning her in, she covered for her, even taking the blame when Tom started asking questions. Sarah's voice cracks as she says Mia was acting strange the night before she vanished, talking about fixing a mistake and needing to protect someone. Jake presses her. Protect who? Sarah hesitates, then whispers. She mentioned Ethan. Jake's blood runs cold. Ethan, his best friend, the guy who's been pushing him to leave town, who's been flashing cash and dodging questions. Suddenly, Ethan's interest in the coffee shop in Mia feels less like friendly teasing and more like a threat. Jake storms out, his mind a whirlwind of betrayal and fear. You're probably reeling too, wondering how Ethan fits into this, if he's the key to Mia's disappearance, and what's waiting at the mill. It's the kind of plot twist that has YouTube comments exploding with theories, and you're about to see it all come together. Midnight creeps closer, and Jake drives to the old mill, the gravel crunching under his tires as he pulls into the overgrown lot. The building looms in the moonlight, its broken windows like empty eyes, the air heavy with the smell of damp wood and rust. He steps out, flashlight in hand, the note crumpled in his pocket. He calls Mia's name, his voice echoing, but there's no answer, just the creak of the wind through the rafters. Then, a shadow moves near the entrance, and Jake's heart leaps. It's Mia, her face pale, her eyes wide with something between relief and panic. She grabs his arm, pulling him inside, whispering that they don't have much time. Before he can ask what's going on, she spills everything. She's been running from her past, from a bad relationship with a guy named Caleb, who's tied to some shady deals in the next town over. Caleb tracked her down, showed up at the coffee shop a week ago, threatening to ruin her life unless she helped him with one last job, moving money through the shop. Mia refused, but Caleb's been watching her, and she's terrified he's coming for her tonight. The notes were her way of keeping Jake close, of trusting him without dragging him into her mess. You're probably on the edge of your seat, your mind racing with Mia's confession, the danger she's in, and what Jake's going to do next. This is the climax you've been waiting for, the kind of heart-pounding moment that makes a YouTube story go viral. Just as Mia finishes, headlights cut through the darkness, and a car pulls up. Jake's stomach drops. It's Ethan's truck. Mia freezes, whispering that Caleb's been working with someone local, someone who knows the town. Jake's world tilts as Ethan steps out, his usual cocky grin replaced by something colder. He's not alone, a guy Jake doesn't recognize. Caleb, he assumes, follows, his eyes locked on Mia. Ethan's been playing Jake all along, using his talk of California to keep him distracted while he helped Caleb pressure Mia. The betrayal cuts deep, but there's no time to process it. Caleb demands Mia hand over the coffee shop's deposit bag, thinking she's been holding it for him. When she says she doesn't have it, Sarah's theft already took it. Things turn ugly. Caleb pulls a knife, and Jake steps in front of Mia, his voice steady despite the fear. He tries talking Ethan down, reminding him of their friendship, but Ethan's too far gone, caught up in the promise of easy money. The tension is unbearable, and you're probably holding your breath, wondering if Jake and Mia are going to make it out, if there's any way to turn this around. This is the kind of edge-of-your-seat drama that's trending on YouTube, because it's not just about love or mystery anymore, it's about survival. In a split-second decision, Jake lunges at Caleb, knocking the knife away. The mill erupts into chaos. Fists flying, Mia screaming, Ethan hesitating as his loyalty wavers. Jake takes a hit but keeps fighting, driven by something deeper than fear. The need to protect Mia, to prove that stay meant something. Mia grabs a piece of broken pipe, swinging it at Caleb, and together, they overpower him. Ethan, caught in the middle, finally backs off, his face a mix of shame and regret. Sirens wail in the distance. Someone, maybe Sarah, tipped off the cops after Jake's questions at the shop. Caleb's arrested, Ethan's taken in for questioning, and Jake and Mia collapse against the mill's wall, bruised but alive. The main conflict unravels. Mia's safe, her past exposed but no longer a threat, and Jake's found the courage he didn't know he had. The coffee shop's future is still shaky, but Tom, grateful for Mia's loyalty, vows to keep it open, even if it means fighting the big chains. Sarah confesses her theft, and Tom, softened by the night's events, agrees to let her work it off. You're probably feeling that rush of relief, that satisfaction of a story coming together, but hold on, there's one last twist that's going to leave you stunned. As the cops wrap up, Mia pulls Jake aside, her eyes searching his. She thanks him, not just for saving her but for staying, for being the one person she could count on. They share a quiet moment, the kind that feels like the start of something real, and Jake's heart swells with the possibility of a future he never dared imagine. But then Mia reaches into her pocket and hands him one final note, written before the chaos at the mill. Jake unfolds it, expecting a confession of feelings, maybe a promise to stay in touch. Instead, it's a single sentence, "I'm leaving town tomorrow." His breath catches. Mia explains, she's been running too long, and even though she's free from Caleb, she needs a fresh start, somewhere far from the town's ghosts and her own mistakes. She asks Jake to come with her, to take a chance on a new life together, but she's leaving either way. Jake's torn, standing at the edge of everything he's ever known, with just hours to decide. The video ends with him staring at the note, the mill fading into the background, leaving you with a gut punch of awe and questions. Will he go? Can love born in a coffee shop survive a leap like that? You're probably reeling, caught between the resolution and this final open-ended twist, the kind that sparks endless debates in YouTube comments. This story's takeaway hits hard. Sometimes, the smallest moments, a daily coffee run, a glance through a drive-through window, can lead to the biggest choices of your life. Jake and Mia's journey shows that love isn't just about falling. It's about fighting, trusting, and deciding what you're willing to risk. The town's secrets, Ethan's betrayal, the coffee shop struggles, they're all reminders that life's messy, but it's in the mess that we find meaning. You're probably thinking about your own routines, the people who light up your day, the chances you've taken or walked away from. That's why this story's trending, why it's the kind of YouTube video you'll share with friends, because it's not just Jake and Mia's story, it's yours, too. So, what do you think Jake should do? Drop it in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that grab your heart and don't let go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.